Below Burnaby's high-rise towers is a high-stakes race that resembles a soap opera. The cast includes a national party leader in arguably a must-win situation. A last-minute understudy, subbed in for a candidate who tripped over a social media misstep, and more than one controversial cast member. The biggest storyline in the Burnaby South by-election script? Housing. How the dirt beneath these buildings has become so valuable that low-end rental units continually come down to make way for high-end condos, leaving many Burnaby residents demo-evicted with nowhere to go. The riding was held by NDP MP Kennedy Stewart. His resignation to become Vancouver's mayor prompted the by-election. While Burnaby ridings have been solidly NDP territory for decades, over the last decade, the demographics have changed.
This Burnaby South riding is massively diverse. Most of the population wasn't born in Canada, and 40% of the residents, they speak Chinese at home.
This is the mayor of Vancouver.
Hi, nice to meet you. How's it going?
This is the challenge for Jagmeet Singh. The NDP leader has to build on the narrow victory of Kennedy Stewart's 2013 election. He's parachuted into Burnaby South in an attempt to finally land himself a seat in the House of Commons.
All right, I'm here with some youth from Burnaby South. What's good?
Anyone who's from outside this riding, outside elsewhere in the country would think, this is easy, this is NDP territory, it's an easy done deal. How much of a done deal is it really here, given that Kennedy Stewart only polled 500 more than his nearest competitor?
Well, you know, I don't look at the odds. I mean, there's folks that could think it's difficult odds. I look at the odds that people are facing right now. And people are going through a time where there's massive housing crisis and they don't feel like the federal government's on their side. They don't feel like Mr. Trudeau cares. And so for me, I think, what are the odds, what are the stakes if the people of Burnaby South don't have a strong new Democrat who's going to stand up in the House and demand action on the housing crisis?
And the stakes are pretty high for you on this one. You've got people in your own party saying, we don't win this one, where's the leadership?
I'm not worried about my stakes. Again, I'm worried about the stakes for people and what Canadians are going through, what Burnaby South is going through. I didn't get into this because it was easy. I got into this because I wanted to make a difference in people's lives. That's my focus.
But you still got to think about your own future on this, and the party's future if you don't pick up this riding.
Well, I'm confident we're going to win, so I'm not worried about that. I am worried about what people are facing and what their troubles are and what their concerns are. So that's really my focus.
Okay, yeah. Next house.
Yes.
Part of Singh's troubles in this by-election? Fake social media posts, like the one that proclaimed he was wanted in 15 countries, or his giant mansion, which turned out to be the home of country music star Blake Shelton.
It just highlights how much of a real threat fake news is, how important it is for us to have confidence in the information that we're sharing with one another. I think that we've seen the impacts of divisive messages taking a toll on communities, on countries. And so more than ever, we've got to really be vigilant about making sure we can trust the information that we're sharing.
You won't see a lot of lawn signs like this here in Burnaby, but one sign you definitely won't see is for Karen Wang, the former Liberal candidate.
Can we stand here? Up here?
Karen Wang was quickly dropped by the Liberals after her online post surfaced in Chinese social media, urging voters to rally for her as the only Chinese candidate over her opponent, Singh, of Indian descent.
Richard Lee!
Richard Lee was anointed the new candidate with only 8 weeks left in the campaign.
You did start rather late in the game, and you had to make up some ground and overcome the negative issues from your previous candidate. How tough was that?
I have a very good feeling on this campaign. We have a lot of volunteers coming up every day, so we are building up the volunteer base so that they can do more work for me, as well as I am knocking at doors every day. So I work really hard on that to communicate with the voters so that they can see what I would like to do for them. So she voted today.
Beware of dog, you're a brave man.
She says she voted today already for me.
She voted for you?
For me.
Oh, you got one. You got a no from that one.
No for that.
Politics is a tough racket, eh? So Richard, your strategy really is old school. It's
The door knocking,
talking to people. Can I, and I just wonder, you know, compare that to, we just came from Jagmeet Singh,
right,
and he's out there with selfies with the kids and taking videos. Very different. What's it like running against a national leader in this riding?
I think what we are doing is, door to door, talking to the people here, listening to their concerns, and try to explain the policy of what I believe in and what I'm running on as a platform. For example, the housing, affordable housing.
You've got the NDP leader touting the same things here. He's talking housing as well. So how do you differentiate? How, for the voters, how do you differentiate?
I think the Liberal plan is credible because it's being rolled out already. It's just last week in Vancouver, you got an announcement from the federal government, a support of over 100 units with an investment of $40 million. So the money is coming, The NDP plan, spot the pie in the sky.
Okay, you got more houses.
More houses, yeah.
Okay.
We have to run. So thank you for joining by.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, good to see you again.
Over at Jay Shin's Conservative campaign office, the troops are marshaled to get out the advance poll vote.
It's pretty crazy around here right now. You've got volunteers coming and going left, right, and center. It's almost like the election too. I almost figure you're almost like the eye in the middle of the storm, looking at what's been happening with the NDP, what's been happening with the Liberals, and what's it been like for you in the midst of this?
For me, it's very exciting. I mean, it's my first time in politics, right? So I've never done anything like this before, and so every day is new, every day is exciting. I have so many people coming to help me, and it's just been a fun ride. It's like being on a roller coaster, not knowing what to expect at the next turn, right?
But your roller coaster's been a little bit calmer than, say, the Liberals or even the NDP for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really focusing on what we're doing here. So we're door knocking every day, talking to the voters, and they, we are talking about how we can make everything more affordable, lowering taxes so they can have more money in their pockets, so they can get ahead. So we're really focused on what we're doing, what the message is for us. And so I know there's been a lot of noise with the Liberals and the NDP, but that's just noise, and we're not really paying too much attention to that. So
housing is obviously a big issue here. What else are you hearing on the doorsteps?
People are concerned about the pipeline, the fact that the Liberal government spent $4.5 billion on it without a clear plan to get it built, and also now the budgetary office is saying that they may have spent $1 billion too much. So they know that that's a lot of money that could be spent for the community, for the seniors, for children. So that's a big concern, right? So so they know that we have a very positive message. They know my background as a lawyer, as a business lawyer. I've helped some more businesses here, brought in investment into Burnaby, and so I think what I'm trying to do as a first-time politician is to say, look, I have the requisite background to make things work out for the better, and and I think people are really listening to that and giving me a lot of positive feedback.
Hello? Hi there. I'm calling from the People's Party of Canada. My name is Laura-Lynn Thompson.
Laura-Lynn Tyler Thompson is the candidate for Maxime Bernier's Conservative offshoot, the People's Party of Canada. Thompson is a former host of the 700 Club Christian TV show, dumped for her activism on the issue of gender fluidity and parents' rights.
Or must they bend to the rights of others? In this case, the LGBTQ community and the Canadian school system.
So you're working the phones here, and you're working hard. Why even get into this? Why get into politics? You got a career in television, so why switch?
Well, about a year and a half ago, I had the perfect life. I really did. I had 2 national television shows, and I was talking to people about faith and things that really matter. And then I heard from somebody that there was a school curriculum that was telling little kids that little boys can be little girls, and little girls can be little boys. And when I found out about that, I thought, it can't be true. So I started, looking into it. And as I did look into it, I found out that it was true. And then people began to target me because I said, well, I don't think it's right. I think in Canada, we're really lucky. We can be gay and lesbian, bisexual, transsexual, polyamorous, pansexual, and even heterosexual. And we have these freedoms. But I don't think that we should tell little kids that they are gender fluid. And I took a stand on that, and I got targeted, and I got a lot of calls that went into my work and all of these places. And I found out something that I didn't know, that we're not as free as we think we are. If you don't believe in certain things, you'll get targeted in Canada. And so that began to get my back up. And I said, well, I am Canadian, and like myself, I'm not a lone stander on what I believe. Millions of people have these same beliefs. And I thought, we need to have a party that is actually standing for the people, the real people, that we should have personal freedom. That should be one of our guarantees, not just believing like everybody else, not just thinking the main speak. And that concerned me, and that brought me to politics. There was, after that, the rise of Maxime Bernier, the most courageous politician that Canada has ever seen. He is a man who stands for the people. Me and Max don't agree on everything at all.
I was going to say, you've got some differences.
Yes, like I'm pro-life. I'm strongly pro-life. I believe life's important. I don't think that makes me a freak. I think it makes me a good person.
He stands on the other side of that issue.
He stands for you know, pro-choice, right? And yet I love the guy, and he respects me.
Valentine Wu is looking for respect as an independent. His strategy? Reusable shopping bags, mugs, pens, business cards, and social media.
So I look at just this. You're doing all of this on social media, the bags, the pens, things like that. Why go this method? Why not go to the traditional election campaign of walking, knocking on doors, and putting up lawn signs? Why this?
I announced my the intention that just in the middle January, it's too late, right? This is one reason. Another is that because I'm an IT guy, so I know that I also for the one of my thoughts I want to share my electors is that I want to promote the new economy, sustainable economy, right? So I'm actually doing it. I give you an example is that $50. A Facebook page can help you reach more than 5,000 people. Right?
You're not going to put 5,000 lawn signs out there.
Yeah. And it is sustainable and clean, right?
So Terry, tell me about your chessboard here.
Oh, I have I have a little company called 23 Flavors of Wood, and I make chessboards. I've got hundreds of them.
Terry Grimwood is leader of a would-be national party, Canada Fresh, with the prime goal of free dental care for children and seniors.
Once I get Canada Fresh registered as a party, I'll be able to run 338 candidates in the country.
You're confident of that?
Yeah, I can do that. I see things that they don't see, and I've got cataracts in both eyes.
Each candidate in Burnaby South claims they will win if only they get the vote out.
Everybody that supports us goes out and vote for us, vote for me, and I think we'll be in a very good situation.
I think that's the same for every candidate, isn't it? They all say if we get if we get all our people out who said they're committed to us, we're all going to win.
Of course.
So that's always the trick in this business.
That's
isn't
right.
it?
That is the big trick. Yeah, for sure.
And each candidate lays personal claim to Burnaby, except the one whose very political life may depend on a connection with Burnaby South voters.
I got to wonder, does anybody ask you, how does a boy from Brampton represent us here in Burnaby?
Well, then I say a couple of things. One is actually I'm a boy from Toronto. That lived in Newfoundland, Labrador, then lived in Windsor, then lived in London, then I lived in Mississauga, and then I lived in Toronto. So I've kind of lived around, you know, the eastern part of Canada, and I'm the only candidate that lives, I'm the only candidate that actually lives in the riding. So none of the other candidates that are from the official parties.
You've only been here since November, is that right?
I've moved out here in November. And well, I asked people, what are the choices that folks have here? They've got a Liberal government that's essentially neglected the major concern, which is housing, for the past 3.5 years, hasn't really done anything in this community to make housing any better. You've got Conservatives that are certainly not going to stand up in the House and demand action on housing. They believe that people should just go it alone. They think it's up to people to deal with it on their own.
But you won't be in government, so how do you push that?
Well, we believe that the way to do it is we've got to stand up in the House and demand action. People are struggling to find a place to call home, and that should not be the case for a country as rich as ours. The fact that we used to build homes, we used to build affordable houses. In the 70s we've done it, in the late 40s we did it. This is something we need to get back to doing.
Okay. Don't believe that went off. Thank you.
Covering the Burnaby South by-election for CPAC, I'm Waterman.